What's going on, everybody? Let's see. Boom, there we go. I don't know how I pressed that. You know what's happening? My mouse is dead. Sorry, everybody. I'm like, this ain't working. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in once again to the NBA Report. I appreciate y'all as always. I'm your man, Ron from Still Knick Fans. Unfortunately, due to some scheduling issues and conflicts, it's a busy summer for us. John is not able to join me today. But you know what? Rest assured, fam, MBK has stepped up. We are in the building. All right. So today I have joining with me the one and only, the queen, the Steph. I guess I like to call her. I was gonna say the Steph Enterprise, because not only is she the queen with Queen's Court, she's NBK through and through. She's also got Dope Soul Sports going on. So it's an enterprise now. I don't know what to say. I don't know. It's big stuff. But I appreciate Steph for being here. Let's bring Steph up in here. Boom, there she goes.
Appreciate you, Ron. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you as always.
Absolutely. I got to say, Ron, you are probably the most natural on the camera.
Oh, really? Oh, well, all right. Thank you.
Yeah. Like you got that eye contact with the camera down pat, and you're just so natural. Like just now, you had the wrong screen up, and you said, "Oh, all right. Well, this is what's going on," or whatever. So yeah.
Hey, man.
I've noticed that quite early.
It is what it is. Sometimes these things happen. You just got to roll with the punches. And you know what puts me on the straight and narrow is my black bottle.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. But you got to be clear, though, that it's not, like Jimmy Walker black. It's
black water. Right. Yeah. This is just water. Yeah, man. Thank you once again for being here.
Absolutely.
Guys, in the chat, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I see you, Geraldine McIver, Jack City. Yes, we are live. Lemon Pepper in the building. I love the wings. And you know what? I love you for tuning in and rocking with us. Mm-hmm. I see you tuning into a lot of MBK shows. Appreciate you. And my guy, Walter Blackman Jr. in the building. What's good? David G's here. Yep. Ron and the Queen.
Salute.
They said it couldn't happen. We showed them. Yeah, definitely. So, first off, I'm gonna get straight into it. I don't have any highlights for you guys. Sometimes I like to do a special highlight or something, but we didn't do that this time around. But we still can talk about these guys because there's been some special stuff happening, and I think you guys have bared witness to the growing phenomenon that is Chet Holmgren. Chet is like now. So let me say this because this is why it's a very iffy thing, Steph. Mm-hmm. Chet has come onto the scene. He came out the gates blazing. He had 23 points. He had 7 rebounds and 6 blocks. Right. So everybody's on the Chet bandwagon. I told you Chet was the man. He's the dude. All this stuff. And I think he even said, ain't nobody out there that can guard him. So, Okay, Chet. Okay. Wow. Right. But then Chet had to play a back-to-back game in the high altitude of California. Mm-hmm. And Chet did not look the same. I think he finished with around 11 or 12 points. He was decent. I think he still had a good number of blocks. I don't know exactly what the number was off the top of my head, but the game wasn't the same. Okay.
It was.
And he was also going up against Kenny Lofton Jr. No relation to Kenny Lofton, the baseball player. And Kenny Lofton Jr. was giving him the business.
He was.
Let me tell you, like making him look like a rag doll. And that's unfortunate, but it was just the size, differential. It was crazy. So I don't know. Did you get a chance to take a look at the highlights from that?
I actually watched the game on replay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you're right. And Kenny Lofton Jr., who's going to be good in his own right. Yeah, he's just a bucket. Don't get fooled by his width and his lack of speed or whatever you want to call it. I mean, he's going to be good. But yeah, he laid that body on Chet underneath the basket and was able to get off shots over him, not over him or around him, however he did it. And he was actually moving him with each bounce. You could tell he was just moving him out the way till he got to the spot he wanted, and he made it happen. So yeah, I think, as skilled as Chet is, and he is very skilled. I may have even underestimated him. Until he gets his strength up, it's going to be hard to show that his skill level if he's getting out muscled and bodied and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like the fact that he's got that bulldog mentality. He wants to take on everybody. He knows what his weaknesses are, and he wants to take on the challenges. It's great.
Yeah, they said he had 6 blocks, and he said that's all.
Yeah, what I'm saying? Chet is a beast, man. I like his mentality. I think OKC is doing things the right way. They got a good one in him. The only thing is, you just got to hope that he can stay healthy. I saw a meme of it was a meme of Karl Malone and Shaq, and then it was like, this is yesterday's centers, and then even though Karl Malone's a power forward, but then it showed, or I think it was yesterday's big man. That was what it was called. And then it showed another picture of Chet and Pokashevsky. I mean, jeez.
Yeah. They were a fun team to watch.
Yeah. What a difference.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for the generous super chat, Walter Blackman Jr. Jeez, bro. Man. Don't know what to say about that. And we appreciate it. We thank you.
Absolutely.
I know Sim will definitely be like, what was that? Thank you so much, man. Always a great supporter. Shout out to Shao Powers in the building. What's good? Appreciate you, brother. Billy Goats in the building. Dark Matter Rise here. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna star that comment, Geraldine. That question. I'm gonna come back to it because we're gonna get into some rumors and stuff that is going around. So I think that's interesting. The way he was playing up until the point where he ran into that back-to-back situation and had to deal with Kenny Lofton. But I still think that's good. It's a good learning experience for him.
Absolutely.
And another thing that I gotta say that they both can learn from, because I watched, I didn't see them really go up against each other head to head. I just saw the highlights, but I saw both their first games. And the one thing I did notice is that Chet was great with his timing, blocking shots and getting to spots. But of course, he could get moved out of the paint quite easily. And then with Kenny Lofton Jr., I noticed that his guys, whoever he was guarding, was kind of scoring on him a little easily. So he needs to work on some of that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Hopefully I can pull this up. Last time around, it wasn't working for me. Hey, okay, good. All right. So what I wanted to talk about was, hopefully you guys can see that. Tried to make it as big as I could. This is the top 10 players so far in the Summer League. This is not counting tonight. As far as, they go statistically by points. And as you can see, I mean, some of these guys really stand out. Is there anybody that you've seen so far, Steph, that you're like, okay, this kid might be the real deal?
I haven't got a chance to. I've taped the games. I've got a chance to see Chet, and obviously I'll watch the games tonight. But I didn't get a chance to see Keegan Murray, and he's turning heads. I mean, there was a lot of people who said that Ivy should have went ahead of Keegan Murray. What is Sacramento doing? They're doing the same thing, passing over talent for fit, right? But Keegan Murray looked like he might be the real deal. That they may not regret that. And then of course, Miami with Nikola Jokic. We'll get into it when we talk about our Knicks, because I just feel like I don't know how that are we that great that we can't make a draft pick. I'm like Atlanta still picked up AJ Griffin. Miami picked up Nikola Jokic. These good teams are still picking up talent. Are we at a point where we still can't add talent to the roster? I mean, I don't know, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yes, that I hear you. Yes, we'll get into it because that's it. That's important. Yeah, I don't know. I you know what? Shout out to Sacramento. Shout out to the Kings and to their fans, right? Because the Kings have made a lot of bad moves and missteps over the years. There's been a lot of dysfunctional stuff going on over there. I think they are trying to do things right. They're bringing in a good coach. Mike Brown is a sound basketball mind. He knows how to get the defense out of his teams. He's coming from winning programs, winning organizations. So that's a step in the right direction. Now, it's not the first time they've done this, because they did it with Luke Walton too. Because I think they had gotten Luke Walton after he had already been with the Warriors and they won a championship when he was on the staff. So, but I think this is a better pick because Luke Walton didn't have that head coaching experience really. Mike Brown has been around.
Right.
And so I think that's a good step in the right direction. And you know what? No matter what the Knicks tried to do, Sacramento did not want to trade that fourth pick because they wanted Keegan Murray.
Right.
And they got Keegan Murray. So good for them.
Yeah.
So Keegan Murray.
Scottie Pippen Jr. Look at Scottie.
That's the one that hurts me, Steph. That hurts because Scottie Pippen Jr. definitely could have been somebody we could have drafted. And it's a shame. It's a shame because I think that kid has some really good skill. And, the only problem is, once again, you run into that situation where we're trying to talk about playing time for the guys we got. How do we bring in more people? That's the iffy thing. I don't know. But I tell you, the people who have stood out so far to me that I've been most impressed with, couple of them aren't even on this list, but Keegan Murray definitely, without doubt. Guy Santos has looked really good.
What team for him? What team does he play on?
I would say guess. I'm just saying, good teams know how to continue to bring in talent. Guess what team he's on, Steph?
Please don't say Golden State.
Golden State.
Oh.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
But this is how you keep that, if you want to call it farm system, whatever. This is how you keep bringing up players. You bring them into your system. They may not get up to the big leagues for another 2, 3 years, but you bringing them in and you're developing them. They know what to expect. They know the plays, and what have you. And listen, you could say we're doing that as well with Keels and Montero if they make the team, and Sims and McBride. But some of these guys, it's hard to say who has more upside. But some of these guys, I don't know. I just wish we would have added some more talent.
Yeah. I think while I understand that they're trying to freeze, I still have that feeling in the back of my head that some of these guys could be better than what we got. You still want to be able to have a competition where you can still continue to acquire good talent, and well, it is what it is.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well,
that's true. That's true. But you know what? I'm not going to write off our Nick Youngins just yet. Absolutely, because this year is I've said it. This is a show and prove year, Steph. So a lot of guys are going to have their
separate.
chance. Yep,
exactly. This is where they separate. Yeah.
Yep. And if you don't separate this year, there's going to be some trouble for certain guys like RJ, like Obi, like Quickly. Even though I think Quickly's probably, he's got the easiest leash. I think he'll be fine, but I don't know. I think he still needs to step up in certain areas too. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, because I'm like, I think we struggled enough. So the other thing is, so Guy Santos looks really good. Of course, he can stretch the floor. Of course, he has a sweet jumper. I mean, what else would he have, right, to be on Golden State?
Right.
The other person that you mentioned, Nikola Jovic. I mean, the rich get richer, man. Miami, this guy's going to be a good player for Miami. Now, he may struggle, and it's not that he's not he's a serviceable defender. He's not great. So that's the good thing about being drafted by a Miami team that is full of defenders. So
right, and that's the thing with Miami. They don't shy away from that. If there's a player or two that doesn't play good defense, they're fine. Duncan Robinson, the rookie right here, Olenek, and they get them to play good position defense. That they hit their spots and what have you, good team defense. So, yeah, let's hope we can do the same. If we don't trade Fournier and we got Brunson and Fournier, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot going on around the league that hasn't happened yet, because I think people are, league is still waiting to see what happens with some of these moves, the Kyrie Irvings, the Durant move, and stuff like that. I think that's kind of holding up something. I don't really understand, what's happening with the situation with Jalen Brunson. I feel like I don't know if it's taking too long or if it's just the right amount of time, because I feel like it's just it's worrying. It's not worrying me because I know it's going to happen. It's just how it's going to happen. I just don't understand why it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how anticlimactic free agency is. They said free agency starts today. I said, really? I thought it started on this. And then it dawned on me that was just the negotiation period. But so many signings were announced that when it came to actual free agency, it was anticlimactic. I had forgot all about it.
That's very true. That's very true. It seems like it's one of those things that's kind of, it hit us with a flurry and then it's dried up. And I really think that the Durant saying he wanted to be traded dried it up quicker than it's supposed to. Because people are just, whoever's left out there, it's like a wait and see, because now you're like, well, I don't want to do anything, especially if I have a chance to possibly throw a package together for Durant or Kyrie. That's two players. I'm going to at least try. So I guess that's what's going on. We'll see. So, yeah, Nikola Jovic looks like a solid player. I mean, he's got all the tools offensively to score at all levels. Defensively, like I said, he's a little bit of a question, but he has effort. We already talked a little bit about Scottie Pippen Jr. I mean, Scottie Pippen Jr. looks good, man. He looks like he right now can be a backup point guard for anybody. Like I could just see him just nice in the right backup role coming in. He sees the floor. He's making good passes. He's got a nice confidence with his shot. I'm like, this guy. And honestly, he is one of those people that I know, when we did the draft special on Still Knick Fans, my guy, D Poetic and Prophet from Feet Sports, who's in the chat, salute to you, brother. They were both talking about him and saying that he has some really good skills. He's not his father, but he's different. He's different.
Who was his father?
Oh, Scottie Pippen.
Oh, you talking about Scottie Pippen Jr.?
Yeah, Scottie
I thought
Pippen.
you were talking about Nikola.
Oh,
like,
no.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, no, I was just surprised by the type of game that Scottie Pippen Jr. has in relation to his father, because they're different players.
Right. He's a point guard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah. So I mean, these are the guys. This is the top 10 of as far as points in the summer league so far and what they've been doing. And there's like I said, there's some standouts. I don't mention the guys like Mac McClung because he's an NBA player, journeyman basically, because he's hasn't really shown too much while he's been in the NBA, but he has skill. I think this is his second year. I don't know if it's his third year. Definitely his second year, maybe. So, we'll see what happens going forward with those type of guys. The other two guys that I wanted to mention that we talked about, but I think definitely Kenny Lofton Jr. is one to watch. Another guy that I do want to give props. I'm going to have to give props to my guy, Prophet from Feet Sports. He actually wanted the Knicks to draft this guy. And we were all like, what? This doesn't work for us. Kennedy Chandler.
Did Kennedy Chandler play in the Memphis game? I kept waiting for him to.
I didn't see him.
Yeah,
but
okay.
He did play in the first game, and in that first game, he looked really good. So I was surprised because that size I thought was going to be a big impediment for him, but he seems to be able to do what he wants to do out there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing the draft analysis, he had everything pretty much, but that people were, it was his size, basically, which is why he dropped. But I don't know, like I feel like I don't have any problem against athleticism or what have you, but I'm just past discounting people because they're short, because they don't have a wingspan, or because they're not fast. I'm just past it because we've just seen so many instances of good basketball players that don't have a lot of lateral quickness. They're not fast. They're not tall, and they're successful.
All right, it's true, and shout out to Lemon Pepper once again. I highlighted you to say hello, but I didn't see what you wrote. That's right. This is MBK Nothing But Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's Swiss. That's right. Dope. Let me see if there was a couple people that had some stuff that they had mentioned. Man, Paris Duggan, you are on the Sims train, man. I know you happy he got his money. It's a proud moment. That's right.
Oh, he did. They signed him to.
They did sign Sims to a 3-year, $6 million, so $2 million per year. I think that's a pretty good contract for a young guy who's still, getting his feet wet in the league. So nice job by them.
Yep. And then now that 2-way contract can go to either Keels or Montero.
Correct.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing both of those guys.
Right, because Deuce is still on a 2-way, correct?
I believe so. Unless they convert him as well.
I don't know if he's done enough for them to convert him yet, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah.
But I would hope. But definitely shout out to the Knicks for converting the 2-way for Sims to a regular contract. So good for him. Mm-hmm. Now we don't have to worry about him going down to the G League. He can stay up with the big club.
Right.
I think that I think Feet Sports is a big fan of Guy. Yeah. I know. So
that's a 2-way. Okay.
When we were talking about these guys, mm-hmm. So we mentioned Kennedy Chandler, mentioned Kenny Lofton Jr., and then another guy who looked really good when I saw him out there for them was Jake Laravia. And this is all. Then Memphis got these guys. Memphis, who made it far in the playoffs, picked these guys up. Can you explain this to me?
This is Ron. This is what I'm saying. And I think this is what leads me a little bit to the confusion, because I feel like, okay, we're going to rock with the young guys. But if you're going to rock with the young guys, draft at 11, you traded and was able to get Doran, keep them. So then you'd be like, okay, they're going all out to clear cap space to get Brunson. Maybe they're going all in on Brunson and the star so that we can get back to the playoffs. And then you hear they're not trying to give up too much for Donovan Mitchell. And that could be them posturing just to let, Utah know that you're not going to use us. We're not giving up that big a package. But, sometimes I feel like, okay, I see where they're going. And then other times I don't get it.
Right. Interesting. So I want to double check that, but I think okay, Shah said it too. So I guess that's the case, huh?
What is that?
So Shah was mentioning that Keel's on a two-way, right? And I think Building Block said Hunt is on a two-way as well. I don't even know how many two-ways do the Knicks have. Is it two
only
or
two.
3? Is it 2? So
unless they increased it, I mean.
So maybe does that mean that Deuce is on a regular contract?
I don't think it could be all 3 of them, or maybe it can. I'm gonna check.
I'm gonna check that out. See if I can get that. Salute to you guys, Building Blocks. Bo Ismail. Sims is signed to a 2+1. Okay, good. Which I'm not surprised. The Knicks always try to give themselves some flexibility.
Right.
All right, that's good. Salute to Kevin Went. Allah Wise is in the building. Appreciate you. JJ, as always, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you once again. Another generous super chat for United Science. Thank you. Kenny Lofton Jr. and Miles Powell looked great. Miles Powell. Another one. That's
right.
I feel, that to me was a real big mistake by the Knicks. They let Miles Powell walk quickly. We didn't even get a chance to see this guy.
Right.
Instead, we kept and I always forget his name. We turned him into our 15th man. He had the dreadlocks, the
Oh yeah, I forget his name as well.
I forget his name too.
The chat is gonna come through.
I know they will. Yeah, like why would we keep him as the 15th man instead of keeping a guy like Miles Powell, who, if we need him to do something, he actually might be able to give us something out there.
Right.
I didn't understand that. I didn't get that.
Yeah. I'm looking at Hoops Hype. They said Keel's got the two-way.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Salute to Fred Wong. Appreciate you. Don't fall for the hype. Pippen Jr. is 10 to 15 player on the bench. Well, yeah, I mean,
if you're playing behind a starter, how many minutes you gonna get?
That's what you're gonna do. I'm just saying he looks like he could be a backup for a team right now. But I did say a backup, not a starter. So
right.
Yeah, salute to
somebody said Deuce is on a regular contract. Is he?
Is he? Because I think I think he might have been on a regular contract last year too. I think the confusing thing with Deuce is the fact that they kept sending him down, but they were actually trying to help him and get him some experience.
Yeah, he did. It was a regular. It was a 3-year, $4.3 million contract.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Salute to Core Mega. Appreciate you. Jack City. Deron Wayne in the building. I think I said this, but if I didn't, Pudge Nice. Good to see you as always, brother.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Pudge Nice.
Il Maddox is here. There you go. Thank you, Sherman George. Appreciate you. Wayne Selden. Yeah, I see JJ and Jack City. They got it too. Yeah, Wayne Selden. For the life of me, I cannot understand why Wayne Selden was on this team. And he wasn't even like he tried his best to be. He was not a Theo Pinson.
Right.
What's up, Craig? Good to see you. D Public Enemy. Eddie C. What's good? Appreciate you. Harlem Girl.
Appreciate you, Eddie C. Appreciate you, Harlem Girl.
My guy Keith Turner. What's going on, man? Salute. So, that being said, guys, tonight's matchups, right? I was talking with Steph a little earlier. Tonight is prime time. I guess it might have already started, the 8:00 game. See if I can get that on in the background. We got Jabari Smith going up against Paolo Banchero, so that should be pretty fun.
That should be fun.
Yeah, and then you got in the second game, Jaden Ivey going up against Shaedon Sharpe. So we went in the prime time players here, folks. This should be good. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. So, what I wanted to get into, because I expect, we can't really talk about what we're going to see yet with these guys until they get on the court and we actually see how they play. But it should be fun to watch both these two matchups. I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then we'll talk probably sometime next week about the output that Dave had, as well as what the Knicks Summer League and whoever plays starting tomorrow night, turns out to be. So I'm looking forward to that. But what I wanted to do now is I wanted to kind of get back into NBA free agency and the rumors or trade rumors that's going on. Some stuff is crazy. I mean, just the wildest stuff. I don't know if you heard about it, Steph. Did you hear about the let me see. I got it. Right.
The Nets, what they were asking for from the
Minnesota?
Timberwolves.
Oh my goodness.
Come on now.
Jeez.
I mean, and Katie is the truth, but how many years does he have left? You're gonna gut your entire team for like 3 years of. First of all, who you gonna put with him?
I mean, that's almost. I mean, I get it. Like you value players and you want to get the most bang for your buck, but that's almost disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If it's true.
If it's true, because this is all
I mean, come on.
So, apparently, guys, if you guys haven't already heard about it, the Nets went to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and this is all speculative. We don't know. We weren't in the room or on the phone call. Apparently, the Nets asked the Minnesota Timberwolves for Kevin Durant. They wanted Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and 4 draft picks.
First round draft
picks at that.
Negative.
Sheesh.
I mean, you're just gonna strip out. So we're just gonna give you, and we're just gonna have Kevin Durant on our team with no way to really build around it.
I mean, that's crazy. That's like a fantasy sports trade right there. I'm like, you don't see those happen in real life. I'm like, that is bananas. I don't know.
Are you surprised that Kevin Durant hasn't been moved? That they had, well, I guess at those prices, maybe not. I mean, maybe that's why, because they're asking so much. Yeah.
You saying that's the whole thing, Steph. I am a little surprised, but the fact, if this is the type of stuff they're asking for,
right.
You're gonna be on the shelf for a little bit.
Right.
Because that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That is wild.
That is
crazy. I use people said Delante West is a free agent. Yes, I did. Yeah, he's always a free agent. Yes, he is. Salute to Rome Farrock. Appreciate you. Yeah, I did. I will say though, guys, if you care, or if you're interested, it's on YouTube. I can't quote it. I just glanced at it earlier. Somebody on YouTube did like a 20-minute interview or something like that with Delante West. I don't know what the gist of it was. I don't know if he was actually truly trying to help the brother and talk to him about his story and maybe draw some attention to it so maybe he can get more help, or if there was some other reasoning behind it. But I did see that. So if you guys are interested or concerned, if you go to YouTube, I guess if you type in Delante West, I guess the interview might pop up. Somebody did it. So just want to throw that out there because I feel bad for Delante, man. I'm not saying he did anything to make me say, you know what, he's a great guy, but I'm just saying you want people to be on their feet. You don't want to see them out in the street and being the butt of people's jokes. He deserves more than that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so I just thought that whole trade scenario, that rumor was crazy. I couldn't believe it, but I guess you got to take your shot, right? If you see what Utah was able to get for Gobert, and you're like,
right,
Durant,
right. Let me take my shot.
yeah, it's worth a shot. I mean, but after they laugh in your face, then you should come back with the real offer.
Right.
Because that is crazy. Well, what do you think about? So here's the other thing. Now, something came out. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. That Brian Windhurst said that Donovan Mitchell is not going to push for a trade request. He is kind of going to play things out. Maybe I guess that might be for another year. I don't know. Do you believe that, Steph? You think that's true?
Yeah, I can see it. I've also seen reports where he was just frustrated, with not just Gobert, but who was the other guy? Royce.
Oh, really?
Royce being traded as well. Like, what are we doing? So I can see him rocking for a season, just to see what happens. Because look, his coach is gone. I mean, I don't know if he's crying over Gobert being gone, but he might be crying over the state of the team right now that we're not better. It's not like you traded Gobert and you got back, some high level starters.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think people are saying, like, even though the haul, like, it was a lot of assets they got back, but as far as actual players that can contribute to the team, I don't know if
At
I'm
a high
Donovan.
level.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm Donovan. If that makes me get excited,
Right?
like,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pat Bev will help him. If Pat, but see, Conley is still there, right? I think he has one more year on his contract.
Yeah,
But Pat Bev will get time. On the backup, he plays good defense. That may take pressure off of some pressure off of Donovan Mitchell, maybe. Yeah, and I like what's his name? Is it Vanderbilt?
Oh yeah. I like
like
him
him.
too. That
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
a solid player.
Right, but solid in terms of defense and rebounding and what have you.
Yeah, I guess I look at it like, while they got a lot of stuff back, and the draft picks are definitely important, the draft picks don't help them now. So if you're
Right.
Donovan Mitchell and you've been trying to win and you've trying to get into the playoffs and make some noise,
Right.
I don't think this roster is going to do it.
Right. And I think, I've read that they're open to signing Donovan Mitchell, but they don't want it to appear like it's a fire sale, probably. And now people coming in with low offers, but that Rudy Gobert, the draft pick, yeah. So
Yeah, that's one of them ones, man. That's going to go down. They better hope on the other side that don't come back to bite them. Let me tell you, the Timberwolves better hope that Rudy Gobert gives them what they've been missing, and maybe that freedom that Cat is going to have. I think it's interesting because one of the knocks on Cat was that he was always on the perimeter anyway.
Right.
So
right.
maybe it'll work out. Maybe this gives Cat what he's always wanted. Maybe Cat is a big guard in a center's body.
No, I think it will. I'm just really interested in how they're going to handle the playoffs differently than Utah did. And will he be playable in the playoffs? But they do have the option to move Cat to 5 and not play, depending on who their power forward is or their backup power forward is. They have that option that Utah didn't have. And that was one of the issues I had with Utah. Like, this is going on every year. So do you have somebody backing up Gobert so that when this happens, you can move somebody into that spot? So they can move Cat over, and it's just a matter of, do they have that power forward? So, so then the question is not that. The question is, but you still paying him however much you're paying him, and you can't play him in the playoffs for extended periods of time, if it comes to that.
Right. And, it's weird because even though Windhorst said that, then you got other articles popping up that the Jazz are still open to moving Mitchell.
Right.
So I don't know what
mixed
to believe.
Mixed messages. If you want him, take your shot. Yeah. Miami, before we even heard about Mitchell being available, you heard Miami made a pitch for Donovan Mitchell. That's what you got to do.
Right. Salute to JQ in the building. Salute Alton Lee, what's going on? Appreciate you. Pleasure as always. Yeah, I think that is the thing. Like, as much as I wouldn't be opposed to having a guy like Donovan Mitchell on our Knicks. I don't know if I want to do it at the sacrifice of giving up RJ, because I think that's what it would take. And I know RJ, when in the grand scheme of things, RJ still hasn't done anything, but I just still have that feeling that he will. You know, I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever be as good as Donovan Mitchell. We don't know, but he could be a really good RJ Barrett eventually.
Yeah, I would like to see them playing together.
Yeah.
But if it comes down to it, that's going to be a tough decision for the front office, you know, because we don't know if Donovan Mitchell has reached his ceiling either.
Right.
That'll be a tough a tough decision for the front office if they do walk away and be like, you know, we walked away from Donovan Mitchell because we believe in RJ Barrett. And RJ Barrett, I still think he's going to be if he doesn't become a star, he's going to be a very good NBA player. One of them guys that on a championship team that you need. When you look at Wiggins on that Warriors team, you know, I'm like, if RJ doesn't become a star, I could see him in that role. And he's a better playmaker than Wiggins. Just an all-around player, driving to the basket, shooting, rebound, defending, playmaking. You know, if he doesn't become a star. But that's not. That's going to be tough for the front office.
Yeah. True. Wiseman, you were absolutely right. Shout out to you. Salute. Teams losing stars always ask for the moon first, then price drops if no buyers. Yeah, this is definitely, this process right now is a little bit of a marathon. It's not gonna show itself overnight. We're gonna have to watch it play out. And you know, the other thing is, if it wasn't for the fact that I think Donovan Mitchell, I don't know if he has a no trade clause or something like that. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Bradley Beal is the only one that has a no trade clause on his new contract.
So really, it doesn't matter, because my whole thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if some team that we're not even thinking about just comes out and you know, is able to jump in and get Donovan or something like that. You know, one of these teams that's not even like on the radar, that you even think they had a move to make.
Right.
You know, so I wouldn't be surprised, because it only takes the right offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fred Wong, appreciate you. Salute. Says Nets should just settle for Randall and Fournier and 4 draft picks.
That's
for who?
4 draft.
For which one?
Right.
For Durant, I don't know about that. And even the Kyrie Irving thing is a tough. That's a tough one there too.
I like OG too. Faith Life Sports. Appreciate you.
Yeah. I guess the Public Enemy is saying, then, you know, Sexton may be the fallback. I mean, he's still there.
Yeah, he is. I don't really see where he fits now with Brunson and IQ, and you know, I hear that we're moving off of roles. I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially with the way that the Knicks want to play. I mean, I'm not sure if I don't know if Thibodeau is comfortable with having 2 undersized guys in the backcourt like that.
You mean Sexton and
Sexton and Brunson? Yeah, one is one. You know, it is what it is. But to have 2, because even when you say what you say about Fournier's defensive liabilities, the guy is still 6'7". Yeah. Salute to Pete P. Pete Panagiotopoulos is in the building. Donovan is world beef free. Big deal. Yeah. Salute Quiet Money. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad you back on the scene, man. I was wondering.
Yes, me too, my friend.
Hey, Faith Life Sports. Give us OG from Toronto. That is a good one. I like OG. I think Steph, you like OG as well.
I like OG as well.
Yeah. So what is it? And this is the problem. Like, I feel like we can't even really explore different opportunities until this Jalen Brunson thing is done, because I think the Knicks don't even know what they have to play around with, like at the minimum. Right now, I think the Knicks, prior to the Sims deal, now granted, Sims is already under control, so I guess you can go over the cap to get him. But when I looked at the remaining money that the Knicks had, they had a little less than $2 million. Right. So obviously they figured out a way to finagle that Sims deal. So they really need to get this sign and trade thing done with Brunson so we can know what they have to work with. And then they can figure out what they're going to do with Taj. And
this is the thing, though. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and if they really need to move Fournier or Cam.
Right. I'm saying I don't really see a lot of players on the free agent market. So I'm wondering if the Knicks should use the money for Brunson and use assets to go for a trade, because obviously there's more players available for a trade potentially than there are left in free agency. You know, so if you do a sign and trade, you have cap space, but who are you signing?
Right. Can you do when you do sign and trades of this? Can you do like a 3-team type sign and trade?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can, right? So I'm thinking, because I don't know, I don't really think Dallas wants to do anything with the Knicks. So I think that maybe the Knicks are trying to find another trade partner in order to help facilitate this, so they can find
Toronto.
Maybe Toronto. That would be great. Exactly. You know, if we could somehow deal with Toronto to make it worthwhile, so that Dallas gets something they can use, and we're able to get the Brunson deal signed and get a OG.
Yeah. Now, do you like OG over Cam? Oh, you're not a big.
I shouldn't have said that the other day, huh, Steph? The cat's out the bag.
But I would too. I would do that too. I just think, and I always say that, even though Cam may be more talented, if you're getting 65% out of 100, it's 65%. You getting 75% out of a 75% player, that's 75%. And I think that's what with OG, you getting what he has. And with Cam, at least up to this point, I'm not saying he's playing terrible, but you're not getting everything that he has to give, if that makes sense.
Right. Like I at this point, my whole thing is, do I think Cam could be something special? Yes. Every year we say the same thing. Cam could definitely be something special. But I don't know if I'm going to see it with the Knicks. And if that's the case, I'd rather just, put my chips in with a guy like OG, because you know what? OG is going to give me good defense. He's going to give me some athleticism. And some nights he can light it up. He can be one of the best options out there.
A few times he took it to us.
Definitely took it to the Knicks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so to me, it's like what you're getting, and if you get this, that's gravy. With Cam, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to get. Haven't seen him put it all together yet, and I'm only a little bit worried about it because it's about that comfortability, the same comfortability that we wanted to see Obi get. That it took Obi a while to kind of feel comfortable. He's there now. We still don't know, because once the season starts and we're playing for something, maybe Tibbs is barking at him again. We got to see how he reacts, right? But we'll see. But I think Cam still has to get over that Tibbs hurdle. First off, he still hasn't really shown. When a player goes to a new team and they have that moment where now you can say, hey, that guy's a part of this team.
Right.
Cam hasn't got that moment yet.
Right.
So we'll see.
Do you think Brunson is gonna? Do you think Brunson will earn that when the games start, or you think he's gonna earn that right away in practice?
I think Brunson's gonna earn it right away in practice.
Yeah.
And then once the fans see him out there, because the guy, there's a reason why so many of his peers around the NBA are talking him up, man. They're all saying this guy is good. You may be questioning if he's next level good, but he's good. So, and that's all I really want the Knicks to have, because personally, I know it's out of sight, out of mind with a lot of Knicks fans. They forget easily. Should I say we forget easily? I'm a Knicks fan. We forget easily about the guys that were here that were doing good. Like Raymond Felton was a baller for us.
I like
Now,
Raymond Felton.
we had him, I think, 2 different stints. The second time around wasn't the same, but the first time around, Raymond Felton was clutch. He was a really good player for us. Right. You know, we've had point guards like Derek Harper, certain guys. I thought Chris Childs was very serviceable for us. Greg Anthony gave us a little something.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, we've had guys that have given us certain things in spurts. So I think Jalen Brunson, out of all the guys I just named, could be just as good as any of them. Derek Harper was pretty good. But I think Jalen Brunson can be that. So to me, I'm happy. And I don't know. I'm still not going to be able to rationalize why there's so many disappointed people with this move, Steph.
Yeah. I mean, we still need the guy. Well, I think, you know, a lot of fans are thinking that it was a lot of money and he's not a superstar. And I'm just saying is that he's a really high level piece at that point guard position, but we still need to go out and get that guy. We still need that guy on the team. But I could see Brunson being a point guard on a championship team. Like when you think about Marcus Smart for Boston, you know, obviously you got Jaylen Brown and you got Tatum, but don't underestimate what Marcus Smart brings to that team. And that's kind of how I see Brunson. Once we get our 2 stars, whether that's somebody on our team growing into that or we trading for that, and then you got Brunson as the point guard on that team, that's going to be pretty sweet. We just got to get those guys, or those guys have to develop.
Right. Salute to you, Mississippi Dog. Appreciate you. First off, G-Dubs87, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. But Mississippi Dog, I disagree with you, sir, because I do think that the Knicks do have the pieces to acquire Donovan Mitchell. I don't think I would do it if you give up the pieces that they would really want, because you might say, like, out of the players that they have, you know, some of our players may not be the sexiest right now because, you know, they haven't shown it. But that doesn't mean they can't be good pieces on you know, another team where they get the playing time. But here's this. There's pieces that the Knicks want to give up, and then there's pieces that a team would want. So if the Knicks said, we'll give you Cam, RJ, and Randall, and give you 3 first-round picks, but give you our first-round picks, that looks a lot more attractive than us giving you protected picks from other teams around the league.
Right.
So it's not about can they do it. I know they can do it. Would you want to do that though? I don't know if you want to do it. That's the thing.
I wouldn't mind Randall and Fournier.
Something like that.
But you got to give to get. We're gonna have to give up some of those picks.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I know. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I do think that if the Knicks are going to try to do it, they should do it sooner than later. Because I think as time goes by, more teams are going to put themselves in a position to make the acquisition. Because right now, this year, certain teams are handicapped. They want, you know, they have certain salary constraints, or they had a plan for the draft. Next year's another story.
Right.
Next year, then you don't know. Other teams might surface as, hey, now we can make a move for Donovan. You know, the freaking Detroit Pistons, they look like they could be a team that can make like a play-in bid. You know, with all the players they got. I'm not saying they'll go far. They're very inexperienced. But who knows? They might get good enough that they say, wow, you know what? We got assets now. We got some good players. We've shown ourselves. Why don't we try to get Donovan and trade some, you know, things can get flipped around. Yeah. Salute Rayology. What's going on? Appreciate you, brother. GS 400. Mark Jackson was a baller. That's correct.
Yeah.
Snipes Entertainment. Salute. He said Cam is not Pippen. You're right about that. We wish. What's good, Ronald Miller? Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, Eddie C. That's right. OG, I was remembering. OG was taking it to Randall. That was rough. Hawkeye says, why we always want to trade.
I thought he was gonna say trade like him. But it's SMH. No. You're right. You read it right.
Trade Randall, or do we always want to trade?
I think trade, period. I was reading SMH as trade him, thinking Cam. I mean, I think, you know, you always want to, you know, upgrade. To me, I have no problems trading a maybe for a yes, because that player may or may not get there. They may level off. And when you have a proven player that's still young, that's very important, that's still young and has had success in that league, in the league,
Mm-hmm.
you know what you're going to get. The other player, you like, they might develop there, they might not, they might level off, they may become a star. Like it's question marks.
That's true. I know you said, look, this new generation of Knicks fans don't know too much about ball. I hear you. I mean, listen, you know what's the funny thing, Hawkeye? I'm realizing that the younger generation of Knicks fans, they may not appreciate certain guys for their skill set or what they've done for the Knicks in the past, or even some of the stuff we've got, players we have on the team now. But it seems like they're a little bit more patient. It seems like the people who have been around that have been Knicks fans are very impatient. They want a winner now. I can't fight. I can't fight that feeling because I too have seen the Knicks become really good and never, get the championship. So I want them to start taking a step in the right direction. And I think now's the time, especially if you got Thibodeau as your coach here. It is what it is. We got to start, pushing the envelope a little bit and trying to get this team better.
Yeah. And can I add to what you just said, Ron?
Yeah.
Older people have seen so many young players flame out that we're not getting too excited yet. Like I gotta see a little more before I get excited, because I can't tell you how many players I've seen flame out, more so than I've seen players really ascend and become stars, especially for the Knicks. So, after years and years of watching players, obviously there's no way you can tell 100%. You kind of get pretty good at it. I don't know about this player. They're gonna have to do this and this and this to be successful in this league. I don't know. And this is one thing about us as Knicks fans. We really underestimate what it takes to be consistent in this league and to show up game in and game out. It's not easy at all.
Very true. Very true. That is an understated fact. That is very
right.
Let's see. Give a shout out to a couple more people I saw. Akuma, I saw you earlier. I wanted to give you a shout out. Thank you. Let's see. G Bostino is in the house. That is true too. That could also be the sounds like a typical Knicks fan thinking the grass is always greener on the other side. That's something that happens, and that's why I always say that I want us to be able to acquire as much talent as we can, but I also want us to build from within as well. Like I want us to have that homegrown thing where we could say, look, our Knicks players, we did it the way that people thought we couldn't do it, and it worked. And then we're finally here. We got that good mix of homegrown talent and some good veteran talent. That's what everybody hopes to get. It's just not easy, but we hope.
Yeah, but I think that happens on most teams. I mean, even when you look at Golden State, they have their homegrown talent, but they got Wiggins, who they traded for. They have, other players, Andre Iguodala, not necessarily this year, but that's how it is. At the end of the day, you're going to have a mixed roster on the championship team.
Right. Salute to 4-8. I guess that's your play on Fournier. Appreciate you. Sherwin, always good to see you. I know you're going back and forth in the chat talking about OG. Appreciate you. May 4th, I think I shouted you out already, but if I didn't, I'm going to shout you out once again. Hard Will, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you. Wilson Dang. True, I am Gen Z and I am patient. That's good. Bodega Wi-Fi, what's going on? The New Yorker is in the building. Okay. All right. Well, listen, New Yorker, you are, a good example of someone kind of like me. I feel like I'm in that I'm weird though. I'm a little too far left. I'm willing to get rid of all the vets and just play the kids and take a couple years, see what we got. And that may be a little bit too much. You want to have a happy medium, I guess. And I'm realizing that. So I don't want to have 12 a roster of maybe 10 to 11 guys that are all 22 years old. I mean, that might be a little crazy. So
it depends. The other thing, Ron, I'm patient too. If we had OKC's young players, I would be patient.
Right.
If we had Detroit's young core, I would be patient. So it's not a matter of not wanting to be patient. Is which core are you being patient with? This core has not. Now they can surprise me. You'll never know. But I don't see the upside in this young core like I see in OKC's core, like I see in Detroit's core. We got Chet, Giddy, Shy. I'm sitting on now. I'm letting them bake and then take your time, and then once you get there, we'll bring the vets around you so we can move. Same thing with Detroit. So it's not about not wanting young guys. It's just, do you have the right set of young guys that you are sitting on? You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if we have those star level guys that we're sitting on and we don't want to trade them, or we don't want to bring in anybody to compete with them spots. Like we sitting on Jabari and Chero. We're not sitting on them type of players.
Right.
So that's what I don't. That's what I don't get.
I hear you. That's a good point. And also, I want to shout out to East Blue Drew. Appreciate you. Visions in the building. And I think I already mentioned Dennis Waters, but if I didn't, salute to you as well.
Salute.
So time flies, Steph. I mean, look, already been
9:05. I
didn't believe it. It's going quick. So before we get up out of here, and salute to No Cap Sports Talk. He said Morey would package RJ to get Mitchell. Morey's philosophy was to land the star and then work on getting the second star. I think people are stuck on Mitchell's last playoff series. That, you know what? Being that you brought that up, I think that is very true. A lot of people looked at what took place in the playoffs of some of these star players and judged them off of that, which is unfair to do because the playoffs is the playoffs. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. We've seen Donovan Mitchell have really good playoff series prior to last year.
Right.
And they still didn't go anywhere because they had other issues, but we've seen him do his thing. Last year was not the greatest. And I'll say another thing, a little bit of a pushback that might be controversial. Up until the fact when Ja Morant got to the Golden State series, I don't think he had the greatest playoff series himself. And I think he was shooting from outside was not that great either.
And
then all of a sudden he was lights out.
Right.
Yeah, when he's lights out from the outside, you can forget it. You are done because you ain't stopping him inside. So, yeah, I just think that these things happen. You can't judge everything by just a playoff series.
I've seen LeBron. Now, granted, he was young in Cleveland, get shut down in the playoffs, especially in that San Antonio series. You got to have the team. You got to have the team. The rest of the team has to show up. If they do, that makes it easier for you. It's a team effort, but any one player can get shut down in a playoff series. And if you ask me, who else does Donovan Mitchell have on that team to help him offensively?
That's
bona fide. Because remember, the playoffs is another level. And those that perform in the regular season, sometimes when the playoffs start, they can't perform at that level because everything gets ramped up a little bit. The really good ones, when you see them perform in the playoffs, you got to be like, yo, that guy it's not easy. So when I saw Brunson in the playoffs do what he did, I said, oh, this guy's bona fide. The 2 games Luka was out, 41, 36 points without Luka. Oh, this guy's bona. When you could do it in the playoffs, when everything is ramped up a little bit, that says a lot.
Yeah.
Says a lot.
Definitely. That's that extra quality that separates the winners from the losers. Absolutely. Even if you haven't, winning is a mentality, and it doesn't mean that it's always going to translate to, because you can't make up for everybody else on the court. You could try your best, but as long as you got it, that's one less person you got to worry about, and that person's going to be there for you. You just got to continue to build around that and get more of that type of mentality and culture going.
Right.
And the Knicks definitely need that. We don't have a closer. Maybe Brunson can be if not the closer, he can be the answer to the situation when we struggle closing.
Right. Because he's going to make the right decisions, get everybody in their spots, make sure we don't rush and take a bad shot.
Right.
Though if you give it too quickly, anything can happen.
That's very true. Very true. You ain't lying about that. A couple questions just before we get out of here, because I saw these. Turkish chocolate, appreciate you as always. And I said Turkish chocolate is delicious. Not you, but the chocolate. He said, where is Rokas? Why isn't he in the Summer League squad? Well, I think, one, there's some stipulations with his current contract. And in the past, it was a showcase. They were allowing Rokas to come here to showcase his skills. And, you know, they were making him happy. This is one of those things that they were doing, right? But this year, there's a little bit more going on, and I don't think he was given the green light to be here. The other thing, which I'm not quite sure of, but Sharice Duncan, appreciate you, said that Rokas may be hurt. So I think Rokas, I'm not sure if he is hurt or not, but if he is, that's definitely another reason why he's not here. Salute to Charles Robb. He says, I think the Knicks still got moves to make. You can't trade off guys you draft.
Well, we don't have that problem because we didn't draft anybody that with value. Yeah.
So that's very true. And still there, and you know, guys, I also want to preface this because I know there's people are starting to warm up to Keels, but don't forget the early speculation was that the Knicks drafted Keels possibly to use in a sign and trade for Brunson because Dallas wanted Keels. Yep. So don't be surprised if something crazy happened. Then you're like, oh, the sign and trade happened and Keels is gone.
Right.
And then also Alton Lee said Utah was patient with Mitchell at first and allowed him to develop. He threw up bricks for a year until his shot came around. We have to have that same energy when it comes to our young aspiring stars. I agree with you, and I think that for the most part, that's what Tibbs was trying to do with them last year. That's why he didn't throw them to the fire. Plus, you know, he wants things done a certain way, and some of these guys are still learning where to be, how to act on the NBA floor in his system. But I think
that's what we're doing with IQ as well, because IQ was just a mess, and Kid Tibbs just stuck with him.
Yeah. So I think Tibbs is you're gonna see more of these guys being thrown into the fire this year than they were last year. He seems to always, one thing we have noticed with Tibbs, he seems to be a lot better with year 2 guys than he is with year 1 guys. And then hopefully year 3 guys like Obi and Quickly will really see a jump. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, I think that was about it. Just want to see if there's anybody else. I want to make sure, try to give a shout out to everybody before we get out of here. Adele Chapman, appreciate you. Let's see, I saw somebody. Rapper Stoned, appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Tracy Cropper is in the building. Nick Yak is in the building. A guy. I am Jarrell. What's going on, brother? Appreciate
you. Resident panelist on Dope Soul.
That's right. Great guy. I was really had fun meeting him in person. Dope.
Absolutely.
Dope. Lewis Denny is in the building. Appreciate you. I think I said Adele Chapman, but if I didn't, once again, I think that's Nick Nation 112, where the players dwell. Appreciate you. King Ribby in the building.
Appreciate you.
So guys, listen, this was a great show. I appreciate Steph for being here with me. Unfortunately, you know, we try to keep the NBA Report show kind of condensed, and especially on a night like tonight when I know people want to watch the Summer League and see what's going on. But I could talk with Steph for a couple hours. We could go through a lot.
Ron lets me go through all of my spills, and when he don't agree with me, he said, "Yeah, okay, I see your point."
No.
Very diplomatic. Very diplomatic guy.
I enjoy it, and I know. Listen, I know what you bring to the table. So there's a reason why you're able to be on all these different shows talking about the Knicks, and it's not stale. It's new topics. It's new conversation, and still have room for your own dope soul stuff. So salute and shout out to you, Steph. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
salute and shout out to my man John, who couldn't be here tonight. I know he's got prior engagement, but I appreciate you. Hope you are having a good time with whatever you are doing. Jose in the back on the ones and twos holding us down. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate you. And yeah, guys, Juan Carlos Gebhardt Ruby, I see you. Thank you for joining.
Yes, salute.
I guess the next time you'll see me will be on Saturday, or unless I do something impromptu tomorrow because I'm so hype off the Knicks playing.
I'm thinking I might pop on after the game as well. So
so we'll see. Either I might do something as well for a little bit, or maybe I'll join Steph. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
So yeah, but other than that, then I guess stay tuned for the Know the Ledge on Saturday. So you'll see me at 11 a.m. Then Still Nick Fans on Monday once again, the weekly report. And then of course, as always, definitely salute and shout out to the MBK family. We got Steph with the Queen's Court, Steph with the crossover, also with my man Tony Crow from Knicks and Bruises. You got Knicks and Bruises. You got Josh, aka Uncle Fulio, with the controversy. And you also have Steph with the Dope Soul Sports Talk.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel.
That's right. Let's go. If you haven't, definitely salute and subscribe to Steph, like, comment, all that good stuff. And also don't forget, Sim, he hasn't been able to do a shoot around stuff like that because we haven't been playing, but whatever show that he comes out with, that's talking about whatever, definitely salute and be there for that. That's pretty much it. As I always like to say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Nick Fans, we'll be back again, and MBK is here now, so tune in whenever you have a chance. Definitely. I'm out of here. This has been a great one once again, Steph. Thank you for being here with me. We'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go watch the Summer League stuff, see what's going on.
Right.
Later, y'all.
Peace. Appreciate you.
Run that Run that.